Be going live. Whoa, whoa, we are live. Imagine that. It worked.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good in spite
Crazy,
of it all.
crazy week, and it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. It feels like it's been a month of this week so far, but hopefully people will want a little break for something different for the next few minutes, even if it's just looking at our fachas,
Yeah.
just something to distract them a little bit.
Well, it's been an interesting week so far. It's been actually started since, for me. The interesting part has been started since last Friday. So I think
Yeah.
we have a lot that we can talk about and try to hopefully we can get some interaction with people today because you know there's been a discussion of whether it's Black Lives Matters or All Lives Matters and what is and what isn't, and I just think all people's lives matter. So
Yes, I agree with you, of course, 1,000%. But here's my take on that. And I know we're just waiting for people to join us. And so they're gonna really think we're off our rocker for this conversation.
yeah,
But it's like business. It's whoever was thinking about the hashtag, in my opinion, they didn't think it through. The hashtag would have worked and not created, again, this is my opinion, and
yeah,
not created so much conflict if the hashtag had been Black Lives Matter too.
yeah,
That would have been really clear and concise, and there wouldn't have been room
yeah,
for this discussion of conflict. Of course, I agree with you. All lives matter, but the point of that hashtag, the origination of it, was to highlight the extreme circumstances, right? That a certain segment of our population has had to deal with time and time again, and then our stuff started being highlighted. Children in cages. I mean, it's just,
yeah.
oh, I
That
can't.
was today. One of the things that when I woke up, that was one of the first things I saw today was, and it was disturbing because it was then people were making a comparison, and again I will I will steer away from the politics just so
Yes.
to avoid
Yes.
controversy, and I love controversy and when it's constructive, but like the media and certain people we don't want to. I don't want to get caught in crossfire because I think we're right now what's most important is that everyone's safety is important.
Right.
Everyone's lives are important. All businesses are important. We still, people have forgotten that we're still dealing with a pandemic, so
Right.
our health is important. So I just want to make sure that we keep it 100%, focused on our confidence strategies. That's
Right.
really what we're about here. We're here
Right.
about talking business, and I'm excited because our business is moving forward. Our new venture. We have our partner Veronica who's on here with us. We're like the Three Musketeers. I confirm what this is recorded here that I'm the secretary of the company, and I'm going to keep our notes for us. And I'm excited to
Yeah.
be actually I'm the minority in the business. You guys are the majority, so I love it.
If
This.
we were live, I'd be kicking you under the table right now, right?
I
I mean,
love
if
it. I
we
love
were
it.
in
I love it.
person, I'd be kicking you under the table. So, but you know what? We've got some folks on, so
Yep.
let's move it along. This is week number 7,
Yes.
and we are going to deal with current events, how it impacts what we're doing, because that what we were going to talk about this week has been preempted. We can't ignore
Yep.
what's happening, but we're going to talk about it in our framework. And
Yes.
this is week number 7, and for those that have just joined us for the first time in 7 weeks, I'm Carmen Milagro. Thank you for joining us. I'm a confidence strategist, a CBD educator, and an entrepreneurist. We come to you with our show every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and every week, Mauriciomejia, Silicon Valley's visionary entrepreneur, shares the screen with me. So, Mauricio, today we want to talk about how do you maintain your confidence, your vision, your mission, your what you're trying to do in the world amidst chaos and adversity. And we did touch on it
Yeah.
before we went into the show mode, but what's in your heart this week? And can you tell us, like, I don't know, 3 or 5 tips that you practice, that you do when times are tougher than usual,
Yeah.
how do you maintain the confidence to continue with your vision and all the things that you plan on succeeding with?
Yeah, no, and yeah, I think you hit it right on the money. I think some of the things that I have to do, I have to have like just like I have my daily routines, my rituals. There's times where just life is just really pressing on my shoulders or on our shoulders, and sometimes when it rains, it pours. Obviously, from dealing from a business transition of a very old partner or strong or old friendship, strong partnership to no partnership, no friendship to new business to always having to pivot and having to
Right.
keep a strong mind. There's a lot of things that you have to do. For me, health is important, eating well is important. So not only that, but working out and doing things that contribute to the strong mindset that we have to continue to have as business people, because we have to lead, and we have to lead by example. So going into the weekend, it was very tough because currently what's happening across the nation, with the protest, the peaceful protest, and then the unruly protester or unruly people that are creating the looting and all the havoc. For me, it's a trigger for me. It takes me back to growing up, in Los Angeles, in the barrios, and and then witnessing and reliving again, for me, 1992, which was the LA riots. When the LA riots happened, people were referring to uh, the Watts riots, which was before my time. So there was reference points. So it's history repeating itself right now. This is nothing new. This is something that's just, again, repeating. It reaches a boiling point and then it blows up, and then we have this chaos. This happens. So 1992, I experienced it. Then we experienced in the business world, we experienced we experienced Y2K. Then we experienced back to back the .com bust, and then back to back we experienced 9/11. Now the kids or the people, the young generation that's out here doing the craziness, they were not even born during that time, or barely. They were maybe born. They were probably a couple of months or maybe a year old, 2 years old, and then now you have the generation that's experiencing, that are now in 2020. Still, during that time we've gone through 2008 crisis and 2008. Like, if you were born in 2000, you're only 8 years old. 10 years later, now you're now 18. You could be either between 16 to 25 years old now, and now you're getting a taste of what the world is like. I mean, it's a tough world, and I think what I felt going through the Friday chaos, the Saturday chaos, I couldn't take it anymore. Sunday, I made the mistake of getting glued to the TV instead of keeping my mind busy. I got stuck, and part of the reason why is because I spoke to a couple of my friends from LA. They reached out. Uh, we were watching the news, and you can just see LA being destroyed. Not only LA, you can see downtown San Jose. We can see San Francisco being destroyed. We can see Oakland being destroyed. There's a lot of tragedy that's happening. And for me, my heart couldn't take it anymore. I was like, it was just sad. I mean, so I thought for a moment, because I do, part of my weekly rituals is I light up my 7-day candles. Every 7 day, or at least if the candle lasts the 7 days, on Sundays, I like to restart myself. And I tell myself, depending on how I feel mentally, I either light white candles for peace and harmony because I feel that I need that this week, or there's moments where I light red candles with the warriors on it, because I'm going into battle. My mindset is going into battle, and I need that protection. I need that confidence. I need that. I look at that as just a trigger, for my faith, to get stronger. And I just felt that on Sunday, I posted a video. I did a little, hey, I
I
want to
saw
make,
that.
I want to say a prayer for everybody. I want to bring peace and harmony, and then I put a guardian angel as well to protect not only us, but the people that are trying to protect us: the police department, the fire department, the politicians, the civic leaders, the leaders, that everybody that is trying to contribute, and then our families, our friends, and and then the protesters too, the peaceful protesters. And I also prayed for the people that are really just angry right now. And that's really what it is. I remember being angry at a young age and dealing with that kind of pain because you felt you're not being heard, because not only you're not being heard at home growing up as a teenager, but you're not being heard at school. You're just going through all kinds of confusion that there just comes a point where you explode. So
but
for me,
it's not just young people. Let's
no.
It's not. There's people who have lived this situation,
Yes.
these injustices for so long, and they are just sick of it. So I mean,
Absolutely.
there's all of that, right? But I have to say, I did see your video on Sunday, and it really moved me, and it really touched me because, there's always going to be people who are going to criticize us no matter what we do, right? Like, that's just a given.
Yeah.
And so for us, everything, again, and I'll get into my list of tips, what I do, what I believe in. You've given us a lot, that you do that works for you, and hopefully it might work for someone else. But there's this thing that, if you have confidence in yourself, you figure out what your rituals are. And when we share, it's like sharing music or sharing art. We are never going to touch every person's heart in the same way. But you have to have confidence. If you decide in that moment to share this piece of your heart, this belief system, and we get naysayers. I mean, we get people, I'm sure, that are looking at our weekly shows going, who do they think they are? But again, without the confidence from within, without our core confidence, we wouldn't be able to do any of this.
No.
So I just wanted to say, I watched your lighting the candles, and I felt very comforted. So thank you. I mean, from genuinely, authentically, I felt really comforted, and I appreciate that.
That was the intent, Carmen. I mean, I just I don't do it. I'm not trying to be the next. I'm not trying to get the likes or this. I want to share with the community. I can't reach to them in any other way. So if this is my tool to reach out to my community, to our community, to people, I'm going to use it. And for me, it was just something I had to get off of me because it was very heavy. I almost broke down when I was lighting the candles. Even I had friends that called. They were like, "Hey, are you okay, Mauricio?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." My mom called me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine, Mom. She goes, "I see it in your face, in your eyes." I'm like, what people were seeing was the broken, the tired of being of this, and just what it does to drain your mind and your soul and your body. And we, when we have shows, I honestly, when I do our show, it's a different Mauricio than when I'm on my show on Wednesdays. I've been looking at my face. I'm like, wow, Mauricio from Tuesday is different than Mauricio from Wednesday. It's almost like I'm a different character today. and but it goes because it's based off of energy. You and I, we're flowing on a different, we're flowing differently.
Right. We're vibrating on a different, with different intention, with different words.
Yeah.
We're perspectives.
We're being we're being comforting, and we're giving perspectives, and we're trying to build on Wednesdays. I'm coming at you like, boom, like it's rock and roll, it's showtime. Not that it's any different, but it's just, there's a different perspective.
Exactly. Understood.
And so for me, Sunday was, I wanted to just share peace and harmony, and because we have to create some type of a counter movement to all the darkness and negativity that's happening. So for me, I wanted to share that, hey world, you're on my mind. Hey everybody, whether you're here or across the nation or around the world, you're on my mind. And if that video went viral or did whatever it did, it's okay, because I'm sharing. I wanted to share that love and that peace and harmony. And that, guys, it's okay to be angry, but be constructive. It's okay to protest, but be constructive. Right now, I mean,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to say, and it's okay to be hurting, even though you're strong. We're not invincible. I think that's really key for everyone to understand, that confidence and being, being full of like, just, I have faith in myself, doesn't mean that we're not hurt sometimes. It doesn't mean that we don't feel things. It just means that somehow throughout the course of our lives, we have figured out some tools that have worked for each of us. Now, my list, and I want to say, I was really cognizant that I didn't want to talk about our list of what we do during these times, because I wanted it to be, I didn't want to compare notes and, I just wanted to see what we came up with. And yes, I totally, eating better, working out, what you said absolutely resonates. That's part of my list too. But the ones that I was going to share today, that I wanted to share, was the number one thing that came to my mind. And this was based on another discussion about actually another topic, but it kind of just resonated and made sense for me, is I think during these times, when you have done the work and you know who you are and what you stand for and what your belief system and what you are trying to accomplish, it's really important that you know what that is. And by that, I mean, during these times, it's very easy for the activist in all of us to be outraged, to say things publicly, to call people out, to be so angry. But, and this is my opinion, you also need to have the confidence to know and choose, are you an activist or are you an entrepreneur? Right. Because sometimes the actions of an activist are going to hurt your journey as an entrepreneur. So you must choose. And you have to go to that core. And I'm not saying you shouldn't call out. I'm just saying, and I think you said this on a call that we had the other day, this to pass. But everything that you have said online and posted, that's going to live there. So as an entrepreneur, when someone is going to do their research about who are you on social media, and you called out their partner or called out their office or whatever it is, and I'm not saying that just or right, like this is what's in your heart, but I think as an entrepreneur, we must all choose what and how we're going to take on certain battles. So that was the first thing for me. That's a coping, like, I'm so outraged and angry about things, but am I going to let that emotion override the plans that I have in motion for my future, for the future? I am not willing to do that. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to do whatever I can for our community in the way that I can. Right. So that was number one. Like yourself, I couldn't take it anymore on Friday. Again, I'm not invincible. I am not immune to the pain of the world, but I'm also very comfortable and confident when I know I've got to shut it down for my own self-preservation, my own self-care, my own sanity. I shut it down on Friday afternoon. I took a couple of naps over the weekend. This whole time that we've been sheltering in place, I had plenty of time if I wanted to, but I never have taken a nap. And I know that I just needed to refuel. I deserve to take a nap and take a break and shut it all down.
Yeah, so we have to do that. It's not, we're human beings too, Carmen. At the end of the day, we want to run hard and we want to go hard. And I felt the same way. Sunday for me was so draining. I took a nap in the middle of the day, just because you want to think, you in your mind, you almost think of it like, I want to go to sleep. And when I wake up, this was just all a bad nightmare and things are going to be okay. But you wake up and then reality sinks in and you have to think, we're now going on week 11 of being shelter in place. Some of the rules are starting to, to get a little bit looser and we're starting to move forward.
And now we have curfew.
And then we get the curfew. Then we get hit with the riots. We get hit with the protests. And again, there's just a calm. It's just all the ingredients are being thrown into this pot, and the fire's being turned up, and now we're starting to boil, and the you know, it's that we want some people, it pops. So
Right.
so for me, it was just, again, I wanted to start off the week strong. I wanted to send out a positive message. We're both
Right.
entrepreneurs. We both have businesses that we're running. We're creating. We're always on the go, go, go. People are looking to us for advice, for consulting. You know,
Connection.
we got a lot of responsibilities, so we always have to be able uh, to move, to break away and move, because it's competitive. It's we're athletes in our own way, mental athletes,
Right.
and
Right.
so we
Agreed.
have to be sharp. But at the same
Agreed.
time, we're human. I had an interview, and I see that I have a friend of mine. We've become friends. Jeffrey Pinzon. I hope I pronounced his last name right. He's on here. He actually asked the question, and I did an interview with him on his podcast in Los Angeles. And you know, I told him, at the end of the day, I'm human like everybody else. I put my pants up one leg at a time. You know, if I cut my finger, I bleed the same blood that we all bleed together. So, you know, we're human. Carmen, you're human. We're not robots. If we were robots, we would not have the passion and the drive that we do, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. So,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, I mean, so for me, I have my rituals. The white candles mean peace, harmony. When I look at it, it calms me down. Some people like to
Right.
go to the beach. Some people like to have the ocean. Some people like to go hiking. Everyone has their own version of it. Whatever it is, do it, because that's what brings balance
Right.
to us. It's what feeds our soul.
Exactly. And I'm going to just add a few more things from my list. I think that the other thing that was really important, and I heard another podcast earlier this week, and for me, it's very, very simple. It's you can call it, you know, meditation, whatever you need to call it, but I call it just breathing.
Yeah,
And by the very nature of slowing down your breathing and envisioning every molecule, every cell in your body is being fed with pure, clean air. I believe in the power of words. So, and I don't
yeah,
know, you know, I'm not going to get into some of the craziness that I've heard, but some people call it manifesting. Some people call it spell casting. At the end of the day, it's the power of the word. And, you know, when you are repeating negative messaging from the media, and we are being enormously bombarded, as we all know. But if you look at what those messages are, a lot of it, in my opinion, is designed to break people down during these
absolutely,
times.
absolutely.
Just, and I hate saying this, but I do want to use it as an example. Just the fact that people are wearing the T-shirts that say "I can't breathe." I'm like, what are you doing? I know why. I get the reason. I
Right.
get what you're trying to say. However, turn that into something positive for yourself, because if you're repeating that over and over, consciously or subconsciously, guess what's going to start to happen to your body?
Yeah, you're fueling it with negative. You know,
Right.
you're yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Go.
So I try to do the opposite.
Hmm.
And I think that when you are a leader, you try to look at things from different perspectives. And when it's easier, or you're used to following and not questioning everything. Why was it so important for the media and all to start putting these negative phrases out there? Because once it spreads, it is damaging to your spirit.
Yeah,
So for me,
sensationalism.
right.
Sensationalism.
And we can't, I mean, we don't have the time, you know, we're not experts to go into all of this, but someday we will have experts to talk about this. I do believe in the power of words. And so I'm saying to myself every day, breathe this in. This is your strength. This is how we can get through this. You slow it down and you breathe. You
Yeah.
unplug, But at the same time, like what you and I were talking about before we went live, we can let others and other things break us down, or we can continue to plan and work and create and dream and believe and achieve. We can continue to do that in spite of this all. And again, we're going to get criticized by some people that are going to say, well, you're not, you know what? Everyone has their own way of dealing with grief.
Yeah.
And some of us choose to work through it because grief also is going to not dissipate or disappear. It, at least not in my experience. When you are passionate, when you care about someone or something, it doesn't disappear, it just goes away, but it will fade. It will fade when you have put in all this work and you see another goal at the end of the line. What you're trying to achieve. Oh, I just realized I have paint on my arm still. Sorry about that. But these are things that I think are really important to talk about. This is who we are.
Yeah.
I know that, we have different styles like we've talked about, but there's a lot more I'm discovering as we do our weekly shows. We're really cut from a very similar cloth. We just say things in a different way. So hopefully people hear it in a different way.
Yeah, I'm a believer that the same amount of energy you put into negative, if you put that into positive, you'll be able to manifest and put that energy out. The world is full of energy. It's energy driven. Right now, you're seeing a lot of angry energy that's being manifested, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing,
Right. And rightly so. I just want to read it. Rightly so.
Everyone has their reason. I think that once it becomes destructive, that's when it is no longer. It's deeper. The problem is it's like peeling an onion. You got layers, and every layer you pull, you get closer to the core. I think that's really what's happening now is that we're seeing the layers peel, and as the layers peel, the people that have had traumatic upbringings, and we've all had a version of trauma in our lives. It's just that the pain gets deeper and deeper, and then then when you go deeper into that and you start asking the questions, you start really realizing like, wow, we all need help. We all need some certain type of guidance and direction, and just craziness. It's off the wall for me. I power through it. I have my moment of grieving and my moment of downtime, but then I also have to remind myself that I can't live in that space, and that I have to take my step back and then re-engage myself into moving forward, because if you're not conditioned or you have the training, the confidence to do that, you can get stuck. And when you get stuck, some people can get unstuck, some people get stuck, and then when you get stuck, then you either have other issues that you have to deal with, whether they're vices, drinking, drugs, depression, other things that start to kick in. And if you get stuck, then you're stuck, and then now you got a bigger problem. For me, it's vamonos, like ready, like I know that I gotta move forward. I know that I visualize my week ahead or my month ahead, my responsibilities, and I also tell myself, if I don't move forward, then I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to go in a place that I don't ever want to revisit. For me, it's poverty. For me, it's not having a home. It's me, being homeless. And for me, those things, I start to outweigh them, and I look at them like, that's why I get up every morning, I get motivated, and I move. My purpose, though, too, is, my commitment. I dedicate my success to my mother. I dedicate my success to my children. I have my purposes and my reasons, my whys, and then that kicks in as well, so that way I'm like, boom, okay, I got to snap out of it. So we have to have these triggers that can trigger us on and off, so when we get stuck, we unstuck ourselves and we go. And that's why people are looking for leadership, because sometimes they don't know how to lead. Not everyone is meant to be a leader. So they make them we have the president that's a bad leader. Oh, our governor, or our local government. No, we got to learn to lead within ourselves, within our communities. But I get it. We get glued onto the TV, and all you hear is some very just ignorant comments or statements that are being said. Or if you listen to one side, then you listen to the other side. There's so much of the extremes that we, as adults and human beings and business owners and people that are just as human beings, we have to make a decision, and then we have to make our, once we make that decision, then it goes back to my mantra: decide, commit, execute. We have to decide, move forward. We have to commit, we're moving forward, and then we have to execute to put action behind it. So it's
Absolutely.
Carmen, these are going to be some interesting times, and I'm glad that we're documenting this because again, it's going to be, we're going to look back and we're going to remember this, blah blah blah. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So
It is. It's going to be amazing in the sense of when you have your tribe, which was one of my last points. When you surround yourself by like-minded people, to me, that's also, I know who I can lean on. I know who's got my back. I know who I can be really honest and share with them how I'm feeling without being judged, without being betrayed, like all these things. I mean, there's this whole arsenal of a kit I believe that every entrepreneur should have. And when we dive into the real, lessons and the real confidence strategies, we're going to touch on all that. I think it's really important. You said something just a few minutes ago that made me think of something else. And I think it's something that we should mention. We are not experts in mental health issues. We're only able to speak about what we do and how we do things and why. So we're sharing that with everyone. But I do want to say, if someone is feeling that brokenness because it's happening and you don't know where to turn, I can connect you to licensed therapists. And this is very different than life coaches or business coaches. Their role in someone's life, in my opinion, is very different than a licensed therapist. There is no shame. There's no stigma. I think if you need to talk to someone, you need the help, please just send me a private message. I can connect you to. And Mauricio, I don't know about who you know in your network, but I assume that you also have some therapists that you're connected to that maybe have worked with clients or whatever. But our goal here, even though we have different viewpoints, our one goal here is to give you curated information and to try to help. And we're not claiming to be the end all to everything. We just have connections, and we can refer you to different people for different things. But we also have empathy and compassion. Yeah. So if this is reaching you and you don't have anyone else to talk to, please do feel like you can reach out to us, and we'll do the best that we can to connect you to the right channel, to the right person that can help you. I mean, this is what I feel is important. This is one way that I try to give back to the community through this show and this programming. And that's what we're trying to do, plain and simple. There's no hidden agenda here. This is what we're trying to do. We don't claim to have all the answers, but we know what our answers are for each one of us. And we are sharing that with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think that, if we have resources, that's what we want to do. We want to share with people, and we want to definitely get them on board. And again, we're across the board. We have such a vast network of people that, if we don't have it, trust me, within 24 hours, I'll have a resource or a contact. And that's what we want to become. It's part of what we're doing here. It's part of our strategy. It's about helping build the confidence. And sometimes we have to dig deeper and dig, under the layers to find that core, and then tweak that core out so that, our confidence level jumps up to a whole different level. I mean, again, we have to, I always go back to, in order to lead others, you must learn to lead yourself first, or in order to love others, you must learn to love yourself first. And that's really the core principles. Once you've dialed that in, kind of
and who taught you that?
Oh, my good friend, my friend and partner Stedman. He my mentor, actually. He's become a mentor of mine, and I love to have those conversations. And I always remind him, actually, he quoted it on my book as well. So, but hey, really quick, there's a couple of people that have jumped on, and Jeffrey here asked a good question, and I think it's a pretty good one. And I know Jeffrey, he's down from Southern California.
Hi, Jeffrey. Thanks for watching.
His first question is, how do you stay sane in the midst of this chaos? And what should you be doing to stay on course to your goals and intentions? What books do you recommend to stay grounded? I like that. Yeah. He actually taught me a couple of tricks this week. Buying the book and then buying the audio. Turn up the speed on the audio so that you can uh, read it with your eyes, visually see it, and then listen to it. So now you have visual and audio going on at the same time. And I thought that was a great idea. I was like, I'm going to try that, even though for me it's harder to sit down and have that patience. But to answer his question, I mean, what do we do to stay sane? We just got to stay focused. Stay focused on the bigger picture of life and what our goals are, and who our commitments are to.
Right. Yeah, we answered that pretty well, I think, with our lists. But what's the book I wanted to, because he reminded me, thank you, Jeffrey, you and I discovered that we read the passages every morning from the same book, and I have no idea. And why am I drawing a blank on
Jesus Calling?
Yes. So that
book is that's powerful. Right now, that book is talking to me, and I actually part of my agreement and the person that introduced me to Stedman was that I buy those books and I give them away. So when I feel that someone needs that guidance, I give that book. So I have a probably about 4 to 5 books in my trunk of my car. They're always with me, and if I ever feel that someone needs something like that, I always want to have it ready for myself to give away. So Jesus Calling is an amazing book. It's I don't want to call it, like, it's not a Bible. It's just the title is misleading, but
it's passages.
It hits home. And I'm already, this is my second reading of it. May was my anniversary, my 1-year anniversary with it. So I'm now doing the book all over again. So, and every time it opens up my eyes, because you don't remember what you read a year ago. So
and the circumstances were different. So even if you read the same thing, it's going to apply in a different way. So I just wanted to make sure that we answered Jeffrey's question. So I think we did a pretty good job.
Jeffrey, I'll send you the author. I have a copy of. I have it in my. It's Sarah. I don't have. I think it's Sarah Young is her name. So, but yeah, it's a great book, and it's a great daily reader. So it's a quick little, 4 to 5 minute read, and it just makes you reflect. One of the things that I do is when I miss a day, I go back to the day that I missed and I catch up forward. I never read forward, but I go from backwards to forward. And the most that I maybe missed is maybe 2, the max 3 days. And normally when that happens, it's probably a Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, and then Monday I'm guilty, and I feel like I need to get my reading, so I catch up the 3 days.
But that was really interesting when you and I started talking about these different projects, and like, you're the first person that I had ever known. I'm sure other people are reading it, but it was very interesting that was revealed so early on, because I felt like that was a great bond that started forming. I mean, before that, of course. Oh, I just noticed my candle is all crooked. Sorry, squirrel. But yeah, it was just a very interesting bond in that moment, knowing that we were both reading this, each day. So there's something about that I found very
Stedman reads that book. It was given to him as a gift, and he reads it. I have a good friend, Marshall, that reads it. I've given out probably about a dozen of those books already, and it's just part of me giving. It was part of my commitment to when it was given to me. So I want to continue the message, and I love it. I love it. It grounds me. It gives me my daily grounding. So.
Do we have? We're a little bit over, but if there's a couple more questions, because I can't see them, so I'm relying on you, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah. So we do have some people that are on here. We got George Fimbres that's on here. Fimbres.
George. Yeah, he's been with us for a number of years.
Yeah, we have Marisa Gasca. I hope I pronounced her last name properly. Gasca. She's on here, and thank you for joining us. We appreciate. We have David Lascano. I think David is from Fresno, if I'm right. I know that I've met him at an event, and we talked, and it's good. I know he's reached out to me a couple of times, and I've given some advice. So it seems like we have our usual suspects in here. I love it. I love the support. I always love. I love seeing even the new people. Our my friend Yvonne Alarcron. I always chop it up. He's on here. A good friend of mine. He moved from Miami here to California, and crazy story. And he's got an amazing story as well. So no, there's pretty much no more questions.
Great.
I think
Well,
we did it.
tell us about your show for tomorrow before we sign off.
So tomorrow, Wednesday, a couple of things. This is I picked up through here, was able to pick up a sponsor. So I'm working with Elizabeth Diaz. She owns a very young, strong entrepreneur woman. She owns a brand called Juicalize. So yeah, exactly. She's become my official sponsor now for my show. She's taking some big steps, and I one of the things that I've told her, she's actually now under my mentorship. My goal is to take her from 300 to 1,000 bottles a week that she's producing, and she's got an amazing commitment to work ethic. So I'm really excited to be partnering with her and helping her company elevate to the next level. So she's my official sponsor now every week, and I'm excited to have her on board. Tomorrow I'm going to have a good friend of mine and San Francisco legend, Billy Vidal. Billy Vidal was used to be on Power, not on Power, on KMEL back in the day, and then worked in the nightlife industry. I remember working with him at Sound Factory, City Nights.
Oh my gosh!
He owned his own nightclub. He ran. We have a common mentor. Britt Hahn was his. They were best friends, but Britt Hahn was one of my mentors. So I have him on the show tomorrow, and I'm excited to have him on board. So we're going to be talking about San Francisco history, nightlife history, radio history, and talking about the current state, what they're going through in radio, and the change in the music industry, and also just in life and general things. So I'm very excited to have him tomorrow on the show. Yeah, no, I'm and the other people that are coming the following week, Albert Campoy, and then God willing, with hopefully that this things don't get too chaotic. Stedman will be on my show on June 17th, and I'm excited to have that one because I'll get to interview him and ask him some very pointed questions on leadership, and really I'm just excited that I get to have that ability to have him on the show. So, and there's a lot of other great people that I'm having. It's just when you do it once a week, it fills up really quick. But then I also thought about if I did it every day, then it becomes a job, and you have to produce content, and then it's just like a TV show. You gotta at that point we gotta hire producers and stuff. So right now I'm the solo artist. You like my new backdrop? There's some little smoke and mirrors here. I won't tell you my secrets, but we're gonna change it up here with different backdrops. But at the same time, again, it's just I'm excited because again, we're giving out this. This is the outlet to share with the world what it takes to be a business entrepreneur. The other thing was I just launched my second book on Monday, Decide, Commit, Execute, and I called it thank you. It's called the Entrepreneur's Quick Guide. And really what it is, it's like a little mini workbook with some it shares some stories and things that I've done, and so that's available on Amazon now too. So a lot of things, Carmen. We're going to be producing so much content and so much stuff that every week we're going to have some great things to share with our audience, and really start to develop what our long-term goal is, and that's to really help people have that confidence in moving forward with their businesses, personal lives, or whatever it may be. Or just some people just want to watch us because we're both two good-looking people on here.
And on that note,
I even blushed on that one. I couldn't even believe that one myself. So anyway, enough of that. But
thank you everyone for staying with us. We know that these are tough times, but if you could, carve out 45 minutes to 30 minutes each Tuesday with us, we want to help guide you through some of these processes for being an entrepreneur. You can ask us questions. You can share your stories. We'll make connections. We do offer each of us private coaching sessions, or you can get the combo pack. I don't know, that might be a little much for some beginners, but you know, all of this is we're trying to share and help our community, and our communities are not just one profile. We are both integrated in different industries, and we work with all kinds of different people, ages. Just, we want to try to help if we can. And if we can't, we can connect you to someone who does.
Absolutely. 5 degrees of separation here. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carmen. You're an amazing partner in crime. I can't wait till this quarantine shelter in place is over, because we're hitting the Battery Club. We're having some cocktails. We're having fun, and I'm coming home late because I'm not. I don't want to come home early. I cannot wait to break out and let loose, because this is bananas. I mean, anyway. Love everyone that joined us today. Thank you so much, Carmen. I love you with all my heart. You're a great partner, and let's till next week.
We'll see you next week, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. I gotta fix my candle. Good night. It's driving me crazy.